Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Math with Dr. War. This lesson is on dot plots, so we are continuing with the statistics videos. Basically, what is a dot plot? A dot plot is just a data display in which each data item is represented by a dot on a number line, such as what you see here. So notice you see friends' basketball scores, and here's a number line, and then each data is represented by a dot. So I have 1, 2, and then this 8 means I have 2 8s, and the 10, there are 3 10s, 4 12s, 3 14s, and 2 16s. Now, right here, we call this a cluster. So when you see a group of points together, that's called a cluster. Now, dot plots also have gaps. So right here, this will be considered a gap. So a gap is basically an interval where you don't have any data points. Now, with dot plots, they can ask you to create the dot plot. Well, on your task test, you won't actually create it. You'll just pick the correct dot plot. They could ask you to find the mean, the median, the mode, the range, and they can ask you basic questions based on the dot plot. So let's begin. So in this first question, I'm going to have to display this data on a dot plot. So it says in an airline training program, the students are given a test in which they are given a set of tasks and the time it takes to complete the task is measured. And the following is a list of the time in seconds for a group of new trainees. I am so happy that they listed the times in order from smallest to largest. So we need to display this data on a dot plot. Okay, so notice my number line starts from 61 and it goes all the way to 83. And we're just going to display our data by dots. So 61, I have 2 of them. So I'm going to have 2 dots here, 1, 2. Next, I have 64. There's only 1 of those. 67, only 1. 70, only 1 data point. 71, I have 1, 2, 3. 72, there's only 1 data point. Same thing for 73. 74, there are 2 data points. 75, 1 data point. 77, 1 data point. 79, 1 data point. 80, 1 data point. 81, we have 2 data points. And 83, only 1 data point. So this is my dot plot. Notice I have a cluster right here. So here's a cluster and also here's a cluster. I'm going to put C for cluster. Notice here I have some gaps here and also here's a gap and over here is also a gap. And basically that's how you create a dot plot. Let's look at some multiple choice problems with dot plots. Here it says the data sets below shows the number of cookies purchased by a student at a bake sale. Which of the following data sets is represented by the dot plot? If we go here, notice that the number of 1, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you must have 5 ones. If I look at the data for A, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So my answer is not A. B, I have 1, 2, 3, and only 4 ones. So my answer is not B. C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ones. Okay, that may be my answer. And if I check D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ones. So my answer is C or D. Okay, for the number 2, there are 4 dots representing 2, so there should be 4 2s. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that did not help us. Let's go for 3. I should only have 2 3s in my data set. So let's see, 1, 2. Okay, and for D, I have 1, 2, 3. Therefore, my answer is C. The numbers below represent the number of catalogs received each year by 10 families. Make a line plot. So again, they can say dot plot or line plot. They both mean the same thing. And then they ask us to find the range of the data. I noticed that the range is different for each answer choice, so I'm going to find a range. So remember, to find a range, you take the biggest number and you subtract it from the smallest number. So who's my largest number here? My largest number is 25. So notice they're not in order. Largest number is 25 and my smallest number is 16. And if I take 25 and minus 16, I'm going to get a value of 9. So my range is 9. This is the only one that has a 9, so my answer has to be D. If you want to check, you can go and check as well. So notice if we put this in order, the smallest number is 16. So there are two 16s. 1, 2. Okay, next is 17. I have 1, 2, 3. So that's 17, 17, 17. And how many 18s do I have? I have two 18s. And how many 19s do I have? I have two 19s. And last but not least, 25. So if we go here, this is 15, this is 16. I have two 16s. This is 17, 3, 18, 2, 19, 2, and then 125. But we didn't need to go through all of that because they also asked us for the range. And when I found a range, this was the only one with a range of 9. So this was our answer. Okay, let's look at this one. It says use the line plot. So again, notice they're saying line plot instead of dot plot. And notice when they say line plot, they use these X's instead of dots. So use the line plot below to answer the question. So we have performers and these are their ages. So you have two people that are 11, one person is 12, 3 are 13, and so forth. The line plot shows the ages of the performers in a play. How many performers are older than 13? So we want the performers that are older than 13, which means they are 14 and above. And how many are there? So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So your answer is 8. So you have 8 performers that are older than 13. The next problem states, the dot plot shows the number of touchdowns a football team scored in 10 games last season. So you have the number of touchdown scores, and they go from 0 to 6. You notice you're clustered around here from 0 to 2. You have a gap here, and then you have a 5. Now this 5, because it's all by itself, we call this an outlier. You know, like the black sheep of your family. So which statement best describes the data shown in the dot plot? So it says the peak of the data is at 5. No, that is not true. The peak of the data is at 2, not 5. So when they say peak, it's like where's the most of your data? The data are clustered from 0 to 2. That is true. Notice from 0 to 2 right here, all the points are clustered. So that's true. Okay, let's go on. The data distribution has no gaps. That is false. There is a gap right here in the middle. And then it says the data distribution is symmetrical. Now we know what it means to be symmetrical. The left-hand side and the right-hand side must be equivalent. Line of symmetry, since it's going from 0 to 6, is right down to 3. And notice that the left and the right are not identical. So your answer is B, where it says that the data is clustered from 0 to 2. The dot plot showed the number of children books purchased by a customer at 2 different bookstores on one day. So this is store 1 and this is store 2. And we have the number of children books purchased. And they want to know which statement is supported by the information in the dot plots. So notice in this question, they're asking us about certain things that we found before, like mean, median, mode, and range. Now F says the mode of the data for store 2 is greater than the mode for data store 1. Now we know mode is the number that appears the most. So for store 1, your mode is 2. And for store 2, the mode is 1. But they're saying that the mode for the data for store 2 is greater. Now that is false because for store 2, the mode is less. Now G is talking about the range, and we know the range is when you subtract the greatest from the smallest. So it says that the range of the data for store 1 is greater than the range for the data for store 2. For store 1, the range would be 6 minus 0, which is 6. And for store 2, the range is the same, 6 minus 0, which is 6. So the range is equal for both store 1 and store 2. Store 1 is not greater than store 2. H is asking us for the mean. It says that the mean of store 1 is greater than the mean of store 2. So we need to find the mean. So to find the mean, we have to add up all our values and divide by how many values we have. Okay, so here's 0, we have 2 dots, 1, we have 3 dots, 2, we have to multiply that by 2, 4, 5 dots, 3 has 3 dots, 4 has only 1 dot, 5 has 4 dots, that's a 4, and 6 has 2 dots. 0 times anything is 0, 1 times 3 is 3, 2 times 5 is 10, 3 times 3 is 9, 4 times 1 is 4, 4 times 5 is 20, and 6 times 2 is 12. So I am adding 0 plus 3 plus 10 plus 9 plus 20, oh I forgot 4, plus 4 plus 20 plus 12. And we're going to divide by, well, how many dots do we have? So to make it easier on ourselves, let's just count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So let's add everything in a calculator. So I have 0 plus 3 added to 10, added to 9, add 4, 20, and 12, which gives a value of 58. And I'm going to divide that by 20. So I have a mean of 2.9 for store 1. Let's find the mean for store 2. So here I have 0 times 4, which is 0. This would be 1 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 times 6 is 6. We have 2 times 4, which is 8. 3 times 2, which is 6. 4 times 1, which is 4. 5 times 2, which is 10. And 6 times 1, which is 6. So I'm adding 0 plus 6 plus 8 plus 6 plus 4 plus 10 plus 6, and I'm dividing by 20. So we have 0 plus 6 plus 8 plus 6 plus 4 plus 10 plus, and the last one is 6. And that gives us 40. And when we divide by 20, we get 2. So the mean for store 2 is 2. So it says the mean of the data for store 1 is greater than the mean for store 2. And yes, that is correct. Your answer is H. If you want to, you can check, but most of the time, remember your test is time and you don't have time to go through everyone, but when you come across the answer, just circle it and move on. But let's check the median. So remember, the median is the middle point of your data. So the median means middle. Now both of these are 20, which means that your median, you're going to have to add the two middle numbers and divide by 2. And those two middle numbers will be the 10th and the 11th data point. So we're going to start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's the 10th and the 11th. So your median, let me go over here, your median for store 1 would be 2 plus 3 divided by 2. So that's 5 divided by 2, which is 2.5. For store 2, you still also have 20 data points. So your median would be your 10th and 11th point. So let's find where those occur. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 and 11. So your median is occurring between 1 and 2. So if you add 1 plus 2 and divide by 2, that's 3 divided by 2. So that's 1.5. And they said the median of the data for store 2 is greater. Now that is false because it is less. So we didn't need to find the median, but I just wanted to go through to show you that. We found our answer by really just going through the statements and looking to see which one was actually true. I hope this has been helpful. Good luck in your task examination. And remember, please like, subscribe, and comment. Have a great day.